It's time for the Wrestling Observer Extra.
Wrestling Observer Extra.
The moment you've all been waiting for. The undisputed, most diabolical villain in the world.
With Dave Meltzer, right here on The Law. Live audio wrestling.
You got it. We do have Dave on the line this week. Had a little bit of confusion last week. We will go to Dave Meltzer, of course. That's what we do. All right, going to start with Dave here on a very strange note, something that came up yesterday, and it's in regards to Ric Flair, Dave. All I know is Ric Flair and intensive care. What is the situation? What do we know at this juncture?
I don't know a whole lot. I know that it's come out, it's a heart-related issue. And I guess all I know is that it's, his representative said it isn't that serious, but it's ICU. So it's somewhat serious no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's from what I understand, it's something significant, but not anything to be, I don't want to say, like, they think that they'll be able to take care of it, and that's very vague, and I only know very vague because it's been pretty hard. I haven't heard anything from him, and most of his friends don't know a whole lot either, other than some vague stuff. So
it's which is kind of scary because sometimes when people keep things so close like that, it's not necessarily good news.
Yeah, you're right.
Dave, continuing on, so beyond that, let's actually go in a weird direction. We'll get to G1, but first of all, we were just talking about Destination X in regards to Alberto Del Rio, and a lot of rumors coming up in regards to the name of John Morrison popping up. Yes. What is the status of John Morrison and Global Force Wrestling?
So John Morrison's going to be at the tapings this week, and as far as like what's going to go on, I mean, if Alberto Del Rio is not unsuspended by Thursday, then he's going to be off the TVs for months because they're taping TV through the end of October. So they're going to have to make a new champion, and I'm guessing they're going to probably make it on Thursday or set a tournament up to where that would start on Thursday, and that would be like the focus of it. If he is there, then everything's different. Then he'll still be champion and all that. And from what I gather, nothing's 100% for sure on whether he will or won't be there. But Morrison will be there. Probably as John Hennigan, I'm guessing. And it is interesting because he is absolutely still under contract with Lucha Underground, which means Lucha Underground gave them the okay, but Lucha Underground giving the okay to so many of their people being on Impact makes me wonder about Lucha Underground.
Exactly. What's the future? And have you heard anything about a new season or anything, Dave?
I mean, it's the same stuff you always hear. Like, talent knows nothing, and everything they hear is, oh, yeah. But you guys know the TV business. It's like you're going to hear, yeah, until the day the cancellation's announced.
Yeah.
The fact that there is no announcement of a new television taping, and it's been, the last television taping was last summer. We're over a year out now with no taping. So I would be concerned.
Now, Dave, just to clarify with the Del Rio thing, is there any, I mean, he's been basically cleared of the accusations that started the suspension. So is there any reason that Impact wouldn't want to use him? Or could it himself, maybe he doesn't want to be deal with Impact anymore?
No. He wants to, at least right now. I mean, the thing is it could be the whole track record. You know what I mean? It's like if it was one isolated incident and he was cleared, you would go, hey, look, unsuspend him, but there's questions there. It's not one incident. It's like a series of things, and it's kind of like, but what he was suspended for, which was an arrest, which he's cleared from, there's the argument that just unsuspend him.
It makes sense to utilize Del Rio if you are able to, but having your title on Del Rio is the question that
that's another thing, right? I mean, having him in the company in a role is one thing, but building the company around him, I think maybe a scary proposition.
What about Rey Mysterio, Dave? Any update there when it comes to Impact?
He's not. I mean, he doesn't have a deal, but I mean they could work on it. And again, I guess if he got the okay from Lucha Underground, I suppose he could go just like everybody else. But in the case with Morrison, I mean, it's not like TNA is trying to sign Morrison. They're going to use him on TV, and he's Lucha Underground's guy as long as there's a Lucha Underground. Whereas with Ray, they're looking to sign Ray when his Lucha Underground contract is still, it doesn't expire until the end of this TV season, and actually it's probably a couple months after that. So when this season stops airing, there's probably a couple month window. But yes, he's negotiating with GFW, and they look like the favorite to get him.
Right.
Let's flip over to the G1. Dave, was this the greatest G1 of all time?
Yes, without a doubt.
Without a doubt, just like that?
It was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
mean, the last 3 nights were the best last 3 nights. As far as the singular matches, there's probably 3 nights where you had deeper cards, But I mean, as far as like the Tanahashi Naito,
yes.
the Omega Okada, and then the Omega and Naito matches on 3 straight main events. Never have I seen 3 main events in a row on 3 nights at Sumo Hall like that. I mean, I've seen better undercards, but not better main events in a row.
And you were keeping track with your coverage. You had something like over 30 4-star matches or something like that in the whole tournament?
I think I had 29 as of before these last couple of days.
So it's going to be over. It's over
the numbers,
that then.
And I think I had 3 or 4 on Friday, and I haven't watched all of Saturday. I watched the main event, and then on Sunday, today's show, I had 2 4-star matches plus today.
Mm-hmm. And if you had to pick one, I know this is incredibly hard, but if you had to pick one match to tell people to check out, what would you be picking?
It depends on your taste, but I guess if you're going to ask, I'll say Omega Okada from last night.
It was great. I really loved Omega's match with Naito, too, the final of the tournament.
Fantastic match.
Oh, and it's way better than their match last year, too.
And their match last year was fantastic.
Yes, exactly.
This was way better. Yeah, I think it was funny because before it started, I was thinking we're going to get a match like last year. It's going to be unbelievable, and this was way better than last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that expectation had also been with the Okada Omega match, which did deliver. Now, looking at the grand scope of things here, Dave. If you're booking this, when do you go back to do a 4th one? Because the record right now is 1-1-1, but how long do you wait?
Okay, so this is my thoughts on this. My thought is Naito wins the title at the Tokyo Dome. Omega beats Naito somewhere in North America, maybe spring or so of 2018. And the next Omega-Okada match in the 2019 Tokyo Dome main event.
So you wait a full out year. Well, a year and a half.
Maybe something in G1, but not necessarily. And then you could do a 30-minute draw. But the championship match I would save for. That's how I would do it. I would wait till the 2019 Tokyo Dome because by then people are going to go. We haven't seen it for a year and 5 months. And it was the greatest 3 series in years.
Yeah.
So to me, the anticipation for it will be super high by that point.
Dave, what did you think about what they did with Shibata? I mean, it was just such an emotional moment. And to me, for them to bring him back like that, I mean, they must be thinking something down the line.
Okay, the impression that I have is that he's going to work for them as a trainer. I don't think he'll be cleared to. I mean, I know the doctor said that it would be they couldn't see a way that he could be cleared to wrestle because of what happened. Mm-hmm. But it was, I mean, you remember Magnum TA in Baltimore,
right?
I mean, that's
it was exactly the same sort of thing. Yeah.
It was, and especially because with Magnum TA in Baltimore, everybody knew he was going to be there because they announced it a week ahead. This one, when his music played, it was like, oh my God, Shibata's here.
Yeah. It was pretty amazing.
Let's talk about SummerSlam. We are only 1 week away from the 12-hour pay-per-view, I think it's going to be.
It's going to be so long.
The title remains on Brock Lesnar, Dave? Or could Samoa Joe? Could they go with the flow and give it to Joe?
I mean, they could do anything. I think it's going to be Lesnar.
All right.
I think it's probably not the time to go with Reigns. And I don't know that Strowman should be world champion.
Yeah.
I would love to see it on Joe, but I think that Joe's the guy who's going to get pinned by whoever wins the match.
I think so, too. Yep. How about this, though? So Brock Lesnar, if he does hold on to that title, is he jaw-jacking with John Jones at ringside?
I don't know. That's a really interesting one.
That rumor hit this week that there's...
Well, John Jones would love to do it, and it makes sense for John Jones to be there. It's totally up to WWE. John Jones would do it because it's John Jones thinks business, and it's business.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to does WWE think it would be a good moment, and that's hard to say. WWE. I mean, they certainly want Ronda Rousey, so they're not. It's not like they're adverse to putting UFC people on a show. I mean, look at Shayna Baszler; they're giving her the big push.
Yep.
And and she was. I mean, she wasn't a superstar woman fighter. I mean, realistically in UFC, she was a woman fighter in UFC.
Yeah, but she's connected to Ronda, and I think that their end game there is Ronda.
And also, she's trained very hard to wrestle.
Right. So in regards to Ronda Rousey, I mean, taking bumps, training, etc. Triple H tweeting out saying that he thinks Ronda Rousey is unsure about doing pro wrestling match and noted that she's at a transition period in her life and is in a great place. I see Ronda and WWE coming together. Do you see her stepping into a ring and wrestling?
Yes, I do.
And is it Survivor Series or is it waiting till WrestleMania?
That I don't know. I believe that they're going to do 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen, and that sounds like a Survivor Series.
Sounds like a main event of a major pay-per-view and an all-women's main event, which would be enormous, I think.
Don't you think? I think it would be great for the women. And then I do see her at WrestleMania transitioning from that to a WrestleMania. So I figure she does like the Goldberg thing where she does maybe, a couple of matches and has a relationship with them. They love her, and she's a professional wrestling fan, and her friends are all, I mean, Shane is one of her best friends, and Jessamine, who's another one. I mean, they're all trained to be pro wrestlers together. So it's like, and they have in the past too, because they've worked with Natty Neidhart, they've worked with Charlotte Flair, they've worked with Nikki Bella in the past. Where they'll teach submissions to them, and in return they'll teach pro wrestling back.
Right.
So there's a relationship there, and the women. I think the women in WWE. This is one of the reasons why I think it's a good thing. I think Becky Lynch and every one of those women. I think that they really want this deal. Because I think they see working with Ronda elevates all of them, and they like her, which helps a lot too.
I just want to see Arn Anderson as their manager.
Arn Anderson has to pick the winner if it goes to a time limit draw.
I think that would be very exciting and be great for everybody involved. So let's hope that happens. But next week, Dave, we are going to speak to you next week after whenever SummerSlam ends. On this show, we'll figure that out. But it is definitely going to run over. But we'll talk to you next week. At this time, what's coming up in the Observer this week?
Lots of coverage at G1. I know that. As far as anything else, probably a preview of SummerSlam, and I guess we're going to know in about 2 days the next couple of big New Japan shows.
Yes. Yeah.
There you have it. All right. Well, we look forward to that, and we'll chat with you after the marathon next week, Dave.
Okay. Have a great week.
You too. WrestlingObserver.com is where you can find all of Dave Meltzer's work, so check it out.